Richard Petty has said a lot over his legendary career, but what he just told his son Kyle during their charity ride stopped everyone in their tracks. It was raw, emotional, and completely unexpected. Why did this private moment go viral? And what does it reveal about NASCAR's most iconic family? In the world of NASCAR, few names command as much respect and admiration as Richard Petty. Known universally as the King, Richard's legacy is not just about his unmatched 200 Cup Series victories, but also about the values that define him: discipline, humility, and above all, family. Recently, during the 2025 Kyle Petty Charity Ride Across America, a heartfelt exchange between Richard and his son, Kyle Petty, revealed a side of their bond that shocked and moved fans around the world. Despite both having retired from the sport, Richard and Kyle are one of NASCAR's most recognizable father-son duos. Richard, fondly known as the King, holds the record for most Cup Series wins with 200 victories, while Kyle followed in his father's footsteps with a 30-year career in the sport. Richard and Kyle have always been central figures in NASCAR history. Richard's success on the track is legendary, and Kyle's journey, though more modest in terms of wins, has been marked by consistency, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to using his platform for good. Their dynamic has often been viewed through the lens of racing, but this time, it was a quiet, personal moment away from the spotlight that truly captivated audiences. The charity ride they were part of began in 1995, long before it became a national event. Initially conceived as a way to combine Kyle's love of motorcycles with his passion for philanthropy, it gained much deeper significance following the death of Kyle's son, Adam Petty, in a tragic racing accident in 2000. In Adam's honor, the Petty family founded Victory Junction, a camp dedicated to serving children with chronic and serious medical conditions. The camp has since changed thousands of lives, offering joy and healing in an environment where kids can simply be kids. In May 2025, as the 29th annual ride made its way from Michigan to Virginia, one particular stop stood out. When the riders reached Niagara Falls, it was more than just a scenic pit stop. For Richard Petty, it was a return to a place he hadn't visited since 1953, when he was a teenager traveling with his parents. Now, more than 70 years later, he stood in that same place, not with his mother and father, but with his own son. The moment was already emotionally charged by the setting, but what Richard said next turned it into something unforgettable. Kyle shared a video from the visit on social media, writing,
"All right, I hadn't been here until November when we came for the site inspection. When did you come here first time?"
First time I came here, 1953.
53.
We ran a race in Southern Canada. They get around and left. They got dead. Stopping here. So they got a picture of us.
So it was you, Grandma Betty, Granddaddy Lee, and Uncle Maurice, and Niagara Falls, 53.
Who's about this year?
First time. Did you ever come back?
Yeah, we put the last time I come back for 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Stayed on New England.
Yeah. All right. So here's our deal. About every 30 or 40 years, we make a trip to Niagara Falls.
"Son, it's not about the laps we've run or the races we've won. It's about the journey, the people we touch, and the legacy we leave behind." Those words hit differently coming from someone who defined an entire era of NASCAR. Richard Petty could have spoken about trophies, championships, or records. But in that moment, what mattered most to him was connection, family, purpose, and leaving the world better than you found it. And it's clear that those values are at the heart of everything the Petty family does. The story quickly went viral across NASCAR forums, news sites, and fan pages. Comments poured in from fans who felt the emotional weight of Richard's message. Many shared how they had grown up watching the Pettys and now saw them in a new light, not just as racers, but as people who had endured loss, embraced growth, and chosen to use their influence to uplift others. This year's ride, called the Tour of Wonders, spanned over 1,400 miles and was filled with iconic scenery, public fan stops, and meaningful encounters. It started in Traverse City, Michigan, with stops in Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and West Virginia before ending in Hot Springs, Virginia. Along the way, fans met NASCAR legends like Ken Schrader, Rutledge Wood, and Herschel Walker. More than 250 riders joined the journey, creating a moving community that spanned state lines and generations. At each stop, they raised money for Victory Junction, sold t-shirts and hats, and accepted donations directly from supporters. The ride has raised over $22 million since it began, and this year alone brought in more than $1.8 million. But even with all the fundraising, media attention, and celebrity appearances, the most talked about moment of the ride wasn't a grand gesture. It was that quiet conversation between a father and son. The 1,400-mile ride has raised $22 million since its inception for the Victory Junction camp and other charities, including $1.8 million in funds raised from last year's ride. This year's ride has been named a Tour of Wonders. Victory Junction remains one of the most important aspects of the Petty family legacy. Founded in 2004 and inspired by Adam's life and spirit, the camp serves children aged 6 to 16 with serious medical conditions. It gives kids the chance to ride horses, go ziplining, and make memories that many of them never thought they'd be able to have. And for the Pettys, every mile ridden and every dollar raised is a step toward giving those kids more of those moments. Richard Petty, at 87, remains a symbol of resilience and commitment. Even though he's no longer racing, he continues to appear at tracks, advise drivers, and connect with fans in a way that very few retired athletes ever do. His passion hasn't faded, it's just shifted. Today, his victories are measured not in lap times, but in the lives touched by his words, his presence, and the foundation he helped build with his family. One fan at a Michigan stop said, "You think you know who Richard Petty is because you've seen him win races and lift trophies. But when you see him holding his grandson or hear him talk about his son, you realize that his real legacy is so much bigger." The 2025 charity ride may have concluded, but the impact of Richard's words continues to ripple through the NASCAR world and beyond. It reminded everyone that success is not just about personal achievements, it's about how you use your platform to help others, how you carry forward the memories of those you've lost, and how you make people feel. For many fans, the Pettys are more than just a racing family. They are a symbol of continuity, of values passed down through generations, and of using fame for good. In an era where celebrity often feels distant or self-serving, Richard and Kyle's humility and authenticity stand out. As the engines quiet and the dust settles on another charity ride, the lasting image isn't a finish line or a photo op. It's two men, father and son, standing at the edge of Niagara Falls, remembering the past, honoring the present, and quietly shaping the future. Richard Petty's powerful message didn't come during a press conference or on national television. It came in a moment of reflection, spoken softly but carrying more weight than any trophy ever could. And for those who heard it, it was more than just moving. It was unforgettable. If this moment moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below, because the Petty legacy is far from over, and you won't want to miss what comes next.